Right now on the Fantasy Football Show news desk, Carson Wentz traded to the Washington Commanders, thought to be for multiple third rounds, I believe is what the deal is looking to be. I'll pull up here. It does appear, according to this report here, that Carson Wentz is being traded for what is thought to be, thought to be included 2 third-round picks, sources tell ESPN. So 2 third-round picks, and Washington is paying the full $28 million due to Carson Wentz this year, which includes a $5 million bonus. So, I mean, this is better than Jimmy G. I'm sorry if you're a Jimmy G believer, but I'd much rather have the Washington Commanders. I keep wanting to say football team. I'd much rather have them with Carson Wentz commanding the Commanders than Jimmy G commanding the Commanders. So this is, I guess, okay news for McLaurin, given that we were probably looking at a lot of spotty options for McLaurin anyway. Would we like Watson in Washington? Yeah, I would rather have Watson in Washington. Would I rather have Malik Willis? Maybe. But Carson Wentz is better than Jimmy G. Carson Wentz is better than Mitchell Trubisky, probably. Maybe not. That's a tough one. It's not a great situation overall for McLaurin. More of the same. More worries for his value. I'd like to see what you guys think. But yeah, I mean, it's movement. It's something. It's something to talk about. This guy Wentz, at least is talented. He just makes awful decisions at times, but he can produce. I mean, he can throw the football down the field. He has a decent arm. It's just decision making. It's the ability to stay healthy. So I don't know. It might not be the worst move in the world. Jimmy G would have been awful. I'd rather see them lock up Wentz now than get stuck with no other options and they bring Jimmy G in. I hope Jimmy G goes somewhere like New York, somewhere where he can't touch any fantasy football talent and bring it down. I think Wentz could at least get the ball to Terry McLaurin, but yeah, not horrible news. Not horrible news. It's not that bad. It could be worse. Senior Hyphy first in the building. Matt second. Smokey the Cat third in the building. Ben, good to see you. Steven, hey Smitty, first in the live. Glad to have you back on live, brother. You're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in the live, but I appreciate that. And have you been here for the other lives? You've been live all yesterday. Were you here yesterday? Scary Terry time. Smooth Criminal says, sup, Smitty. Jeff in the house. What's up, Jeff? Smitty, quick on the news. Attaboy 49er. Scary Terry going off, says Eddie. Rolo says, what's up? Appreciate you all being here. Looks like Jimmy G will either be a Colt or a Steeler. Maybe not. I think the Colts. Maybe the Colts. Maybe the Colts. I don't like that for Jonathan Taylor though. But what's going to be the alternative? I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I mean, could Watson go to the Colts? We'll know more about Watson on Friday. Deshaun Watson is going to be be pleading the fifth in front of the grand jury on Friday. I don't know that that's going to bode well. There are 10 potential criminal cases being looked at and being brought before the grand jury to see if things are going to move forward from a criminal perspective. If they do, we may have word. I don't know technically if the NFL can then put them on the exempt list at that point, or if it's got to cross a certain mark legally for the exempt list to be able to be acted upon. I don't know. I do know that you do need to be in a criminal situation in order to be put on the exempt list right now in the NFL. That was bargained in when the players were getting tired of, and rightly so, Roger Goodell basically taking anybody that did this or this wrong off the field and putting them on the commissioner exempt list. No longer the case. But when can he put Watson on the exempt list. If this criminal stuff moves forward on Friday, we're going to know a lot on Friday. I don't think Jimmy G gets moved before Friday. I don't think Jimmy G gets moved probably early next week. Jimmy G just went through shoulder surgery, and literally coming out of the surgery, the Niners report that he is on track for for training camp. He just got out of surgery. We talked about this on the Quad Box. How could he be on track for anything? He literally just got out of surgery. What kind of framing is that? What kind of smoke is that during smoke season? Comes out of surgery, literally wheeling him down the hall, and the report comes out. According to reports, Jimmy G's on track to play in training camp. It'll be on time. Everything looks good. They're literally wheeling him out of the surgery room, and they're already reporting and framing it as if he's going to be ready. We don't know if he's going to be ready for training camp. What team's going to lock themselves down to Jimmy G? I mean, after that Russell Wilson trade, anything's possible. I'm not going to absolutely say yes or no to anything right now, okay? For probably the remainder of this free agency, because anything can happen. Anything. A team can make an awful mistake. Any team can make it just takes one team. Just one team to acquire Jimmy G. That's all it's going to take. But I can't imagine a team saying, we don't even know where he's going to be. He's got to get through all the roadblocks and be ready for, what if there's a setback? What if there's problems in his shoulder? Like, Jimmy G's a risk. What team's going to lock themselves down to Jimmy G, marry themselves to Jimmy G, an injury-prone player that a lot of people think isn't a winner, that the Niners were winners, and he got to come along for the ride? And what team's going to lock themselves down to Jimmy G and take themselves off the board for all the other quarterbacks, even if they're not a lot of great options? You could trade for Tyler Huntley. Why is a team like Pittsburgh not trading a third-round pick for Tyler Huntley? The Ravens would probably take that. Even though they want Tyler Huntley to back up Lamar, they want to win. If you gave the Ravens a third-round pick, they would give you Tyler Huntley. Why teams in the NFL don't use their brains and look ahead and project a little bit and see a guy like Tyler Huntley and say, hey, Tyler Huntley could be a starter for about 10 or 15 teams. I love Tyler Huntley. In Pittsburgh, he'd be fire. In Washington, he would have been fire. Tyler Huntley could be a starter in this league. Tyler Huntley's got top 15 quarterback potential. Yeah, I said it. At me if you want. I know what my eyeballs tell me. Sometimes you just need a little glimpse of a player to know if they've got that it factor. And I'm telling you, Tyler Huntley's very, very young. He still needs to mature. And anybody trying to draw a conclusion about him, oh, he's not accurate, he can't throw. Like, he's young. He could develop his feet, his ability to play like Lamar. And he filled in for Lamar. He did a great job filling in for Lamar. I love Tyler Huntley. Trade for Tyler Huntley. Mike White, another example of a quarterback I think showed a lot of promise in a very short window that no one is entertaining. Instead, they're going after Carson Wentz, who I don't mind this move. Again, Scary Terry should be able to get, a good amount of targets from Wentz. Wentz has trouble staying healthy. That will be maybe the biggest concern here of this situation. Will Wentz stay healthy? Are the Commanders going to be quarterbackless like in Week 10? That is a big concern, I must admit. But I don't know. I don't know why a team wouldn't go after Tyler Huntley. I don't understand it. It doesn't make much sense to me. Because to me, Tyler Huntley looks like a phenomenal prospect. I like him. Carson Wentz to the Washington football team. This is bad for San Francisco, who's trying to get rid of Jimmy G. Now you have one of the players off the board. You've got Pittsburgh maybe still in play. You've got maybe Carolina. You've got probably Indianapolis. You can't say Seattle. That's interdivision. I don't know where Jimmy G's going to play. New York. Send him to New York. Put him in New York. Let Dable deal with him. Put him in New York, because I don't want to see Jimmy G in an offense where he can take down the wide receiver. I don't want him in Pittsburgh where he's a liability to get hurt, and then what's Najee Harris going to do? Give me Malik Willis. Trade up in the draft, Pittsburgh. You're going to have to trade up, because Seattle is sitting at 9 now, and the Seattle Seahawks are going to probably take Malik Willis if he's there. I think Malik Willis could go much earlier. We have the NFL draft order here. I haven't updated it since the trade, the Seahawks trade. But if we look at the NFL draft order, Detroit at number 2, very, very capable of taking Malik Willis. And I think he's the number 1 quarterback. Maybe other quarterbacks are ranked higher in some teams' mind, and that's crazy, though. But Malik Willis is a talent. Houston's not taking him. They've got Mills. They've got Watson. They're not dealing with the quarterback situation. Jets aren't taking him at 4. New York Giants could. They could. Dable likes quarterbacks. He helped develop Josh Allen into the quarterback he is. He's good with quarterbacks. I think he's smart enough to know that Danny Dimes is probably not a thing. Danny Dimes is not. I hate to report, Danny Dimes is not a thing. I'm sorry. He's not. That's why Jimmy G could maybe end up in a New York Giants uniform. Trubisky being rumored to maybe go to the New York Giants because Dable probably wants 2 different options to play with because he knows that Danny Dimes is probably not a thing. Carolina at number 6 would take Malik Willis if they don't have their quarterback situation resolved. But a lot of 49er fans are excited about Jimmy G maybe going to Carolina, but why would they make that move when they're probably in a good position to get one of the top 2 rookie quarterbacks? Granted, a lot of people say the rookie quarterbacks aren't a good pool of quarterbacks, but is Jimmy G a good quarterback? No. So I don't know that there's a leg to stand on with that argument, but if Carolina has a shot at getting Malik Willis, that's a difference maker. Okay? Detroit, the Giants, Carolina. Carolina realistically has the best shot, I think, at Malik Willis. Detroit could look at him for sure. I might change my mind on that, but I would certainly think that Carolina is going to take Malik Willis before the Seattle Seahawks, who now have that Denver Bronco pick. I haven't updated it yet. The number 9 selection is a Denver Bronco pick. They're not going to get Malik Willis there. Or I'm sorry, the Seattle Seahawks. They're not going to get Malik Willis there. They won't. The Giants. I don't think. Wow, this is crazy to think about. You know, Carson Wentz. We knew that it would be Aaron Rodgers. One domino would go down. Hit the like button if you're in here, please. At least get the 115 of you watching right now to match up with the likes. I appreciate it. Wipe your feet. Help your boy Smitty. Pulverize that like button. Smash it. Annihilate it. Make it your you know what. And hit that like button for your boy Smitty. Subscribe if you're new. You found your new one-stop shop for fantasy football. What other show goes live immediately? I mean immediately. I mean when the tweet comes out by Ian Rappaport and Schefter and they're racing to get it out. Who's out here dropping a video for you? Who's sitting here living in the studio? I've got little Smitty in the background over in the corner eating some grub right now, watching on a monitor because today's my day to hang out with the little one, but I'm here live because that's how I roll. I've got it. I'm watching. You good? You good? Little Smitty's good? We're good. Wentz is absolute garbage, says Tom. I mean, no one's going to argue with you on either side of that. Like, no one's going to bat for Wentz, but I think some people might say Wentz ain't the worst situation here. Jimmy G would have been awful. Jimmy G would have been a huge mistake and something we wouldn't have wanted for the likes of Terry McLaurin, for Gibson. Wentz is at least he's a good quarterback at times. Not a great, I didn't say great. He's a good quarterback at times, but he's very unreliable, and he's not going to get it done at the end of the day. We know that, but at least he could give McLaurin some potential. He can throw the football. His arm is not a cannon, but it's not a bad arm. He doesn't stay healthy, but when he's healthy, he's okay. And you can get excited about him once in a while. Jimmy G, you can't get excited about at all. This is a limited man. This is a man that has a couple throws. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 yards, 11 yards, 8 yards. That's Jimmy G. Wentz has got an arm, though. He's just a bad decision maker. And, you know, I don't hate it. Honestly, let's break this down. Let's look at this from a realistic perspective. Okay, Denver, we needed a quarterback there. We wanted Javonte Williams to get on the rocket ship and head to Neptune, to Pluto, to the moon. We wanted it. We needed it. We required it. Okay? And when Aaron Rodgers didn't go to Denver, the first domino to fall, we knew that all the other dominoes would start falling. We all got down. I ended the live stream. I walked away from the computer for about 10 minutes, and then boom, Russell Wilson traded to the Denver Broncos. That's what we needed. That was the one thing. I think that in Pittsburgh getting a good quarterback situation, we wanted one or the other. We knew we might not get both. We knew Najee Harris and Javonte Williams both might not end up with an elite quarterback. But when Aaron Rodgers, when that domino fell, we thought, okay, now Denver and Pittsburgh won't get an elite quarterback. Now we won't have that guy that's going to help Javonte or that guy that's going to help Najee stay in the top 2 to 5 running back, like locked in, guaranteed productions. Their offense is moving the football in the red zone constantly, near the end zone, goal line situations. Look, if you can't move the football down the field, your touchdown production is going to get limited. You can't score 15 touchdowns if you're Najee Harris, if you're punting the ball all the time and you're not getting inside the 20 as often. That's common sense. So for Javonte and for Najee Harris, the two most important players, in my opinion, this offseason that we wanted to get surrounded by quarterback upgrades and situations, one of them we've landed already. Russell Wilson to Denver is phenomenal for Javonte Williams. It's phenomenal for Jerry Jeudy. It's phenomenal for the entire Denver Broncos team. And yeah, we're worried about DK. Maybe he gets traded. Maybe not all is lost for DK. He's also kind of a strange wide receiver that I think can pull in the football when it's thrown up anywhere near his vicinity. He's a jump ball guy. He might survive differently than Jeudy would have. Jeudy can't survive without a quarterback. He's a top 5 route runner in the NFL, but he needs that quarterback to deliver the football because he's not DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf proved with Geno Smith he can do it. So maybe DK survives. I can take that gamble in fantasy football landscape thinking. Back up, look at it. Okay, DK Metcalf, we take this piece, we move Russell Wilson over to Denver. We help out Jerry Jeudy, we help out Javonte. We give Hamler a chance. It might be Hamler season. We might need a KJ Hamler button here on the show where we push it and it's KJ Hamler season. I love KJ Hamler. He's hiding. He's a little gem, this speedster of a dude. This might be the number 2 wide receiver in Denver. It quite possibly could be the number 1 wide receiver in Denver when all is said and done. He could be that crafty. He could be hiding and waiting. I'm not saying that Jeudy isn't the guy. I'm super excited about Jeudy. I'm just saying keep an open mind here because Hamler is one of the fastest wide receivers. He's the fastest wide receiver probably on the team. He might be one of the quicker guys people don't know about. Hamler is good. His own defensive backs have said, I forget which one said it, that he would be a starter on so many other NFL teams, that he's very, very good. I like Hamler. I like him. Hamler, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. So we take Russell Wilson, we put him over here, we create all this fantasy goodness. DK may still survive, but he may get traded. That's okay. That gamble's okay. Pittsburgh, we're worried about. We got Deontay Johnson. We got Freiermuth. The Muth, man. The Muth needs a quarterback. We've got Najee Harris, who survived with Big Ben, did pretty well. But is it too much to ask that is it too much to ask that Najee Harris maybe averages 4.5, 5 yards per carry like he's very capable of, instead of facing 8-man fronts and having a quarterback with a noodle arm that can't move the football down the field? Imagine all the hate on Najee Harris. He's not that good. He's not that efficient. It's not just the offensive line. It's the quarterback. If you put an Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, all I hear is, Smitty, the offensive line is so bad, there's no way he'd want to go to Pittsburgh. Look, he may have looked at it. And Watson in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers no longer an option, but if he was in Pittsburgh, offensive line production goes up immediately. You get a quarterback, a competent quarterback with a quick release in an offense that spreads out the defense, because now you have guys that are going to catch the football down the field on the regular for a living. That spreads defenses out. What happens when you spread a defense out? Less pressure. The offensive line immediately improves with a better quarterback under center. Not to say the Pittsburgh Steelers won't improve their offensive line through free agency, through the draft. They can certainly turn it around, but adding a quarterback is what's needed in Pittsburgh. And Najee Harris is doing so much with so little. People don't even realize how good of a year this running back had, this rookie running back had, when he was facing adversity that a lot of other running backs would have busted. You would have, if a lot of other running backs landed in Pittsburgh, you would have said bust. But Najee Harris still delivered. Imagine if he gets a quarterback. I'm not giving up hope that Deshaun Watson escapes the stuff on Friday, although it sounds like it could be 50-50. Some reports say that there's some scholars studying this, some legal scholars, maybe from a university, doing some kind of side-by-side mock trial, and they've looked at it, analyzed it, and said, hey, this doesn't look good. But we're hearing reports, I think it was NFL Network through NBC Sports, or one of the two, talked about how there's scholars saying that the outcome Friday might not look good. There's no verdict being handed down. It's being decided on Friday if the 10 criminal cases going forward are going to continue to move forward from a criminal perspective. Grand jury. If it does, Roger Goodell, I don't know at what point, can then grab Deshaun Watson, pick him up, and take him and put him on the exempt list, which means he's out of play. May never play again. Roger Goodell could keep him on there as long as he wants. The exempt list is where Watson cannot go. If Friday has good results and nothing's proceeding criminally, which is hard to imagine in some respects because he's going to be pleading the fifth the entire time. That's not a good look. Therefore, the entire case falling apart and not going forward is going to result from the complaints not being adequate. There's 10 individuals claiming criminal activity toward Deshaun Watson. All 10 of the complaints have to be bogus or bad or not look good because Deshaun Watson's doing nothing on his side of the argument. It's pleading the fifth. He's pleading the fifth. He's pleading the fifth on every question. His attorney said he will not allow him to do anything else. Deshaun Watson pleading the fifth. That means it all comes down to the 10 complaints and the people filing the complaints. If it goes to the grand jury, and all it takes is, I believe, I think 3 of the jurors could disagree, and it still go forward. I don't know if it's 6. I think it's 6. 6 of the. I think I have it here somewhere. 6 of the. I'll pull it up here and read it to you. This is crazy. This is crazy. I had it somewhere. Where is it? I believe it's 6 jurors have to agree. 6 to 7 jurors have to agree that it should go forward, and it goes forward. It's not a unanimous type of thing with the jury, the grand jury. It can go forward. If it goes forward, then Watson might be, as Niner by Nature said, done. It could be that quick. We think Watson's in play. He's not. Boom. Then what? Pittsburgh still has Deshaun Watson. That's on the radar. If Deshaun Watson is cleared on Friday from the criminal track and he's just looking at the civil, guess what? People picking up the phone. Pittsburgh Steelers pick up the phone and say, hey, we want Deshaun. We've got your 2 draft picks. We'll give you 2 draft picks, first rounders, and a second rounder. What do you say? And then Houston's dropped the phone. Here's the second phone. Houston picks it up and says, you know what? We want 5 first rounders now that the criminal's out of the way. And then they say, you know what? We're going to play hardball with you. We're going to go get Malik Willis. Good luck with Watson and his $35 million. We know you don't want to start him, clowns. Hang up the phone. They call back just like a car dealer. You know what? We've looked it over. We'll go ahead and take the 2 first rounders and the second rounder. Now Deshaun Watson heads to Pittsburgh. Now Najee Harris averages 5 yards per carry. Najee Harris to the moon. Javonte Williams to the moon. Jonathan Taylor's already waiting on the moon for both of them. You have 3 elite running backs walking into 2022 fantasy football. And I've said that I think Javonte Williams is capable of being a top 2, top 3 overall pick in 2022. Top 2 to top 3 overall pick. I gotta check on this real quick. Okay, we're good. We need to see if little Smitty needed a little extra food. Let me check 1 second. Little Smitty, we're good. Look at me. Look at me live streaming, doing all this live. This is my dedication. I work for you. I work for you. I work for you. I'm here reporting for you. Watson, Malik Willis, these are the last hopes in my opinion. Or Tyler Huntley if the Steelers are smart enough to go trade for Tyler Huntley. These three options or bust for me. Not that Najee will be a bust, but we'll be looking at a far different situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers attack if those three options aren't on the table. So hopefully we have good news and Najee is heading to the moon. I don't want Najee to just get to the atmosphere because honestly, without Malik Willis, without Deshaun Watson, without Tyler Huntley, I don't think with Jimmy G or a secondary rookie quarterback that's not named Malik Willis, or I don't know, Winston would be okay. That'd be okay. That might be better than Ben Roethlisberger in that offense last year. I'd be okay with Winston. But if we're looking at Jimmy G or a secondary rookie not named Malik Willis, we're looking at, unfortunately, a situation where I'm a little worried about Najee Harris. Like, I'm still taking him in the top 3 or 4 overall. But Javonte Williams, I cannot tell you, outside of our show, outside of the fantasy football show community, I can't tell you the pushback I'm getting on top 3 overall value for Javonte Williams. I was called bonkers in the comments of my own video in my own house. Somebody in the comments, and I respect that person. I'm not saying to yell at them. I'm not even going to tell them to take a lap. But I was called bonkers in my own comment section on my own video for saying that Javonte Williams is a top 3 overall player in 2022. Bonkers. I was called bonkers for it. How is Javonte Williams shockingly highly ranked at number 3 or 4 overall? How? Explain to me. Because before they acquired Russell Wilson, Javonte Williams was already on a rocket ship, departed for the moon, and we didn't know if he was going to land there quite as quickly as he did, because quite frankly, I was not expecting to walk away from my computer, ending a live stream a little depressed about Aaron Rodgers not heading to Denver, and then literally 10 minutes later getting to run back like an excited kid, like Christmas morning, running to my computer, Terms of Endearment song, dun 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 dun, Smitty jumping, hitting the live button, telling all of you, Russell Wilson, Javonte season. I was so amped to get live with you guys and to tell you that Javonte was already landed on the moon, scheduled to join another rocket ship to head toward Neptune, because the dude's going to go off, and people have the nerve to suggest that I'm bonkers because I have Javonte Williams in the top 3 overall. This kid is going to light up the NFL. He already has. In a half timeshare, the dude is a leading tackle breaker in the NFL. Imagine how many touchdowns this kid's going to have. And I've heard a couple comments, which they're good points to bring up and talk about. Hey, I don't remember Russell Wilson. Who was it that said that? I don't remember Russell Wilson dumping the football off. Dumping the football off to a running back. But if you look back at Chris Carson in 2020 and 2019, I believe, let me pull up his game log. I believe it was 37 receptions in both seasons in 2020 and 2019. Let's pull up Chris Carson. Christopher Carson, who will never be relevant again, by the way. We wish him well. Receiving. Yeah, here's Chris Carson's receiving stats for 2020 and 2019. And I'm going to include 2021 because I can't crop it. And so you'll see that he was out for that season, so we can't use 2021. So the top line here is 2021, and he got injured. But you'll see receptions. In 2020, which is the middle line, 37 receptions, 287, 4 TDs. In 2019, 37 receptions for 266 and 2 TDs. 6 receiving TDs in 2 seasons is pretty targeted if you ask me. And that's in a scheme and a system that isn't going to necessarily throw to the running back as much as Denver could and will and should. Now, Javonte, in his second year, it would be shocking to me. How many catches did he have last year? Javonte Williams. Do I type in GOAT when I search up Javonte, or do I type in Javonte? I'm confused. Javonte Williams had 43 receptions. 43 receptions. Unbelievable. Let's look at his game log here. Let's pull up Javonte Williams' game log and take a look. Take a little gander at this beautiful site right here. Javonte Williams in a timeshare. 203 rushing attempts, 4.4 yards per carry, 2 100-yard games as a halftime runner, 4 TDs, 3 receiving TDs, 316 receiving, and 43 receptions. This is a part-time player from 2021, Javonte Williams. It would not shock me at all if he caught 65 receptions, 65 passes for 550 yards and 4 or 5 or 6 receiving touchdowns, and give him 10 rushing to 11 or 12 rushing touchdowns. Let's do 12. Let's dial up 12. I'm going to order 12, please. 12 rushing touchdowns, 4.6, 4.7 a pop. Probably, I don't know, if he's going to have 500 receiving, let's say he has 1,300, 1,400 rushing. You're talking about 1,900 to maybe a 2,000 total yard back. We'll call it, with the extra game, 2,000. 2,000 yards, 65 receptions, 15 total touchdowns. That is GOAT potential material right there. Javonte Williams to the moon. Javonte Williams to the moon. We're supposed to be on here talking about Carson Wentz. How did I get on the Javonte train? For Wentz, another team with bad wide receivers and no tight end. Bad wide receivers, like, truth. Come on, bro. Let's give Terry McLaurin some respect. He is a top 10 potential wide receiver. He just doesn't have a quarterback. Now, granted, truth, to your point, maybe he still doesn't. And maybe he won't continue to produce, but maybe he will. Maybe Wentz can get him the football enough. He did throw the football from time to time to Pittman, and he can get the football downfield. Maybe it'll be a good combination. Sometimes wide receivers like McLaurin can thrive with a certain type of quarterback. Let's hope that this is a good meshing environment for these two individuals. Let's hope that we get McLaurin to produce top 12 wide receiver numbers. It's certainly possible. The Commanders need to get that rail fixed. Yeah, for the train, the Commander train. If anybody's just joining us, the Washington Commanders are paying $28 million due to Carson Wentz this year, which includes a $5 million roster bonus next week. It's thought to be for 2 third-round picks. Colts number 1 starter in 2022 is to be announced, according to Field Yates from ESPN, and that is correct. We don't know who the Colts are going to bring in. Jimmy G is definitely going to be in the cards, but I think it's not going to happen right away. Nobody wants to tie themselves to this man. DK Metcalf stock is dropping. Tony, this is correct. However, it is currently thought by a few people that I've talked to that I respect that they are totally willing to completely blow the team up. They are totally willing to get rid of DK Metcalf if the right offer comes along. They may posture against that to try and up his value, because keep in mind, Pete Carroll, I believe 7 days before the trade, says he's not looking to trade. We're not looking to do that. We're not trading Russell Wilson. We're not trading Russell Wilson. 7 days later, we'll do it. We traded Russell Wilson. So don't believe anything that comes out of Seattle if they say DK's not available, because the word is that he is available. The word is they could blow up the entire team. It could be, as mentioned on the live last night by somebody, and I agree, and I'm mentioning it too, DK could be a potential buy low, because he did survive with Geno Smith. He is a jump ball wide receiver. There's a big difference between Terry McLaurin, who is a Antonio Brown esque type wide receiver that knifes around the field and needs the football in certain spots. Great wide receiver, makes open space by himself, then needs the football delivered while he's got 3 or 4 yards between him and a defender because he's so quick and fast, and he's sitting there needing a football to be delivered in a perfect environment. Needs time to get open, needs time to wiggle around and make space. So it's a very different thing than a wide receiver like DK Metcalf, who can literally get the ball thrown anywhere in his vicinity within like an 8-foot radius, and DK will go up and get the ball, whether it's an errantly thrown pass or not. Dante Culpepper was famous for getting a whole lot of positivity and hype when he would literally throw the ball up to Randy Moss, and it just had to be within 12 yards of Randy Moss, and Randy Moss would come down with it, and everyone's like, excellent pass by Dante Culpepper. So DK is special. DK can go up and get a football. Lockett is on the trade block as well. Lockett, DK. This Seattle Seahawks team, they could blow it all up, and I feel so bad for fans. I feel so bad for fans. I don't understand what the Seahawks are thinking. I realize they want to blow it up. I realize they want to rebuild, but Russell Wilson's still young. You know, you can rebuild around Russell Wilson. You could get rid of Pete Carroll and choose sides, the right side, and keep Russell Wilson and keep DK and blow it up in a different way. Why are you blowing it up this way? It's almost like you're getting really close, and I know that the NFC West is tough, the AFC West is tough, the West is tough in general. We're tough in the West. The West side of the football league, the National Football League, is a tough squad. Like, the West could take on everybody, because the NFC West and the AFC West are the two toughest divisions in football. And if you think differently, you're just a hometown team rooting for your team, and you're not speaking honest truth here. AFC West, number 1 division of football. Hurts, Mahomes, now Russell Wilson. The NFC North got a little weaker because Russell Wilson left it. But you still have, if Kyler were to turn things around mentally and get on track, the Cardinals would be in the mix too. Right now they're iffy, but you've got the Niners and you got the Rams. Toughest 2 divisions in football are the AFC West and the NFC West by far. Carson Wentz to the Washington football team. Is it a good move? I don't know. Is it a bad move? I wouldn't say necessarily bad, but I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say that waiting would have been better, because waiting could have been better. This is why I fear a team that goes after Jimmy too early will regret it, like the Washington football team or the Washington Commanders, the Washington Armada presidents. I still call them all kinds of names. I keep forgetting they're the Commanders. The Commanders may regret going all in on Carson Wentz when they may still have shots at other players. What if Watson becomes available? This team made an offer for Patrick Mahomes. They called up the Kansas City Chiefs and said, can Patrick Mahomes come out and play? And they're like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? We're not trading Patrick Mahomes. There's no way. We're not going to trade Patrick Mahomes. Are you out of your mind? They swing big. They want the big guns. Then they settle for Wentz. This was plan C. They didn't even resort to waiting and making Wentz plan D or plan, whatever. They just decided we're going straight for plan C. We don't want to be left empty-handed, because this is a boatload of money. What did we say? $28 million right on screen there. $28 million due with a $5 million bonus. That is quite a penny to be given Carson Wentz, who was thought to potentially be released, but they didn't release him. They traded him. It's actually a really good move in a sense by the Colts, who were going to outright cut the man, and now they were able to trade him, and they were able to get draft capital. So not a bad thing. JW says, just found your show. Keep up the good work. You just found your new home, pal, because no one does more live streams and more football breakdowns than your boy Smitty JW. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you're alerted when we go live, and pulverize that bell. Just make that bell your own, bro. Just smash it. And turn on the notifications, hit the thumbs up. Appreciate you being here, JW. If anybody's new in here, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a live stream. We mock draft all the time on this channel. We are constantly mock drafting. We are constantly manipulating the ADP and completely changing players' ADPs by 1 and 2 draft slots, and people laugh at us. People say, you couldn't single-handedly move an ADP. Watch us. We do it every year. We move ADPs all the time. Javonte's laughable at number 3, and I know a lot of you don't want us to move ADPs. I get that. I understand that, but we're going to pump up players we love, and Javonte's going at like 5 or 6 or 7 now. He'll be going 3. He'll be going top 3 by the end of August, and I know we're going to have a big, heavy hand in pushing him up to 3, and I'm not really ashamed of it. I'm actually kind of proud of it, and I know it might upset some of you who want to grab him at 5 or 6, and maybe you already have your draft order in your league, and you're like, Smitty, shut up. Stop talking about Javonte Williams. I want to draft him at 5 or 6. Not going to happen. Not on my watch. Javonte to the moon. To the moon. Appreciate you, Warren. Obi, yeah, we could talk about that one a little later. We're a little busy here, Warren, but I do agree that's something we need to talk about. Can't help think that this news would sound much better being delivered while mobile on a scooter. For those that don't know, I do a live stream on a scooter once in a while. When I go out and I do live streams on the streets, I'll rent one of those scooters that's sitting around and actually answer questions. It's been one of the most requested videos I get. I did it one time as a joke. I got on a scooter. I said, hold on. I swiped up on my phone, downloaded the app, paid for the scooter for an hour, and then swiped up. And then everybody since just requests that constantly. It's one of the most requested videos I get. You guys love when I'm dangerous on a scooter about to crash answering questions. I don't know what it is. You like a train wreck? I'm not sure. Thomas in the building. Thomas, where you been? Inexcusable. Thomas says Wentz is a huge upgrade for that team. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so some people like Wentz. Some people want to give Wentz a chance. Some people want to give him a shot. Get them likes up to 100, y'all, says Niner by Nature. Thank you. Appreciate you. Gardner to Indy. Hey, you know what? I'm going to offend some people right now, so I apologize, but this is normal. If I'm Indianapolis, if I'm Pittsburgh, if I'm Carolina, if I'm a QB needy team, guess what? I'd rather have Minshew than Jimmy G. I'd rather have Gardner Minshew over Jimmy G. I just don't feel Jimmy G is a quarterback that's going to help you win playoff games. I know people say he's been to the Super Bowl twice, Smitty. Has he? Or have the Niners taken him to the Super Bowl twice? I really don't understand the Jimmy G support. He's very injury prone. He can only make like 4 throws, and he's just constantly hurt. I'd rather have Gardner Minshew. Niner by Nature, you can tell Ron Bo I said that. I'd rather have Gardner Minshew. Thank you, Livingstone. I appreciate you. Very much. I hope you've got your salad locked up in the fridge. Don't let anybody take that chicken out of your salad at work there. There's somebody at her work that's taking her chicken out of her salad in the community fridge and leaving her salad empty. It's a disgrace. So I hope you're locking that up. Up your game, Smitty. Next, I want you live streaming from a jet ski. I'll do my best, James. I'd rather have Trubisky, says Cody. 4 throws, Niner by Nature is laughing. He does. Jimmy G has about 4 throws that he can make. That's about it. He can do about 4 things. He's a 4-trick pony that can't stay healthy. Who wants a pony that can't stay healthy? I don't understand. I don't get it. What's the like about an injured pony? I'm sorry I had to eat chicken, okay? It was you the whole time. Anybody else have any other comments or questions? A lot of news coming this week. I mean, I'm going to be doing these emergency live streams all the time. I'm going to be going live randomly talking about this stuff. Emergency live stream number 1 in the books for today. I'll answer some questions while I'm here, but we came on here to talk about Wentz. We came on here to talk about, now that one more quarterback is off the board, one more domino has fallen, we've got a certain amount of teams that are in need of a quarterback, and we only have so many quarterbacks left. Then we have the rookies. The problem is for teams like the Niners, who have Jimmy G to still trade, and I don't think you're going to trade him. I think he's going to get cut, or you keep him, which is going to be, you're going to have Niner fans up in arms everywhere, because now you're going to create this controversy that doesn't need to be there. Jimmy needs to be cut. He's going to need to be cut. I know you want to trade him. If you're a Niner fan, you want to trade him. You should try and trade him, but at some point you can't keep holding on. Buffalo doesn't need a quarterback. Patriots don't need a quarterback. The Dolphins don't need a quarterback. The Jets don't need a quarterback. Let's write all these down. Let's talk about the landing spots. The Jets don't need a quarterback. So the AFC East, no quarterbacks are needed. AFC North, Bengals don't need a quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback. Pittsburgh is the number one team that needs a quarterback right now. Cleveland, they need a quarterback, but they don't think they need a quarterback. They think Baker, interception maker, is the guy, but whatever. Ravens don't need a quarterback. They actually have a really good backup quarterback that I would love on the Cardinals. Give me Tyler Huntley. Send him on over. Tennessee, they need a quarterback, but they don't think they need a quarterback, I don't think. So Tennessee's out. Indianapolis, they need a quarterback. Indy needs a quarterback. Let me go to the marker board and show you as I'm writing. So Pittsburgh and Indy need quarterbacks so far. Houston Texans, they have Mills, so even if they trade Watson, they probably won't need a quarterback. Jacksonville obviously doesn't need a quarterback. Kansas City obviously doesn't. The Chargers don't. The Broncos certainly don't. They got Russ Wilson cooking in the kitchen, baby. You got the Raiders with Carr. They're satisfied there. The Cowboys don't need a quarterback. The Eagles don't need a quarterback, but they're looking for one. We've been talking about the teams that need a quarterback, that don't recognize that they need a quarterback. They don't know what time it is. You know, like the Titans and the Browns, they don't think they need a quarterback, but they need a quarterback. This is the inverse. We have a team in the what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. What team? The Philadelphia Eagles. That's where I was at. Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles have Jalen Hurts, and everybody wants to crap on Jalen Hurts constantly. They think they need a quarterback, and they don't need a quarterback. So I'm going to leave them off the list, but they are potentially searching. But it's going to be hard for them to upgrade Jalen Hurts, so we're going to leave Jalen Hurts off it. So far, we've got two teams on the board. Denver, Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs, no. Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders no longer need a quarterback. Giants are potentially, we'll put New York Giants right here as a potential because they're looking for a quarterback potentially, even though they've got Danny Dimes, but Dable might want somebody else in case that backfires. So we're going to go ahead and say Giants are a potential, okay? You've got the Packers, no. The Vikings, no. They're paying $45 million to Cousins. They're not looking. You've got Fields in Chicago, no. Detroit needs a quarterback. You've got Tampa. They need a quarterback. New Orleans needs a quarterback. We're running into these teams real quickly now. Falcons are paying Matt Ryan a bank. Carolina needs a quarterback. Rams don't. Cardinals, they need to trade their quarterback, but they won't. Seahawks need a quarterback. That's a lot of teams, actually. That's actually a lot of teams. It was starting to look like there weren't going to be as many teams that need a quarterback, like off the top of my head with the movement, but we had to write down the movement because the movement's been kind of crazy. So let's just say, we got Trubisky. We got Trubisky that's available, right? Let's move this stuff. Let's make this a little smaller. Let's talk about the quarterbacks that are available. The quarterbacks that are available, Trubisky, Jimmy G, Willis, the two rookies, We'll say, and there's there's other rookie quarterbacks that will be taken, but those are the two talked about, I would say. What other quarterbacks are available right now? We got Trubisky, we got Bridgewater, Winston, Watson. We'll circle Watson, put a question mark. What other quarterback am I missing here? Winston, Watson. Who else am I thinking? I mean, looking at this is kind of crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that need a passer. Who am I missing? Trubisky, Winston, Jimmy. We've got those. Who else are we looking at? I know I'm forgetting somebody. Minshew. Yeah, Minshew. Love potentially. They could look to trade him, I suppose. Bridgewater. Tyrod. I'm not saying they're good options. Fitzpatrick. Mike White. I wish. I don't know that he's even on people's radars. He should be. Huntley. I don't know if he's on radars. Huntley. That's about it. So we say Winston. Excuse me, my mouth is so dry. I've been talking for like, I don't know how many hours straight I have live streamed over the last like 60 hours, but I'm literally like coughing constantly. My throat is dry as can be. We're gonna say Winston, Mariota, good one, Mariota. Tom Brady potentially. So we're gonna say Winston to New Orleans. I'm going to say if Watson ends up being cleared, Carolina. I'm going to say Willis goes to... he'd go to Carolina if he fell, but maybe does Detroit take him at 2? Does anybody think Detroit's taking Willis at 2? Who thinks Detroit's taking Willis at 2? Does anybody? Or do you think he falls to Seattle? Which he could if Watson goes to Carolina. If Watson is off the board, though, it complicates this so much. If Watson's off the board, then Carolina is going to go after Willis, I think. And then it makes Jimmy G potentially more valuable. It makes Trubisky more valuable. It makes the rookies a little more valuable. We'll say for now, I guess Willis to Seattle. Indy. Trubisky's supposed to maybe go to New York. Jimmy G. I hope to God he doesn't go to Pittsburgh. I wish it was Huntley. I wish Huntley would go to Pittsburgh. I wish Huntley would go to Pittsburgh. This is crazy. We'll break this down later. I've got 114 of you in the building. Please punch the thumbs up. Appreciate you being here. Leave a comment if you're new. Gardner, Minshew, Trubisky to the Steelers. Maybe that could happen. I'm really hoping... Guys, it's got to be Watson. It's got to be Watson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's got to be Malik Willis to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We need that. We need this. We require this for Najee Harris going to the moon. He can't go to the moon unless he has a pretty good quarterback. He can't be going to the moon unless he has that type of signal caller. So, he can kind of flirt with it. But he's gonna break down over time if this guy does not get a quarterback to help stretch defenses out so he can get more yards per carry. Okay, so we really, 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 really need to hope and will this to happen. We need the Pittsburgh Steelers to step up and make a good quarterback move. That's what we need. We got the Broncos to do it. That was fantastic. Javonte to the moon, but this is the next step. Appreciate everybody. Matt says Najee is going to no moon. Why is that, Matt? Why is that? He went to the moon last year. He was phenomenal last year. Darnold, I don't know if I believe in Darnold. I mean, he may be a potential quarterback to look at, sure. Seattle trades to the 2. That could happen. That could. Okay, appreciate everybody. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button